All right, hello everybody. Come on in. I am running late. I will not be before you too long today. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Shalom, peace. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of mine heart be acceptable in Yahweh's sight. He is our strength and our redeemer, and it is in his name, which is his authority, that we pray, praise, proclaim, protect, and protect tonight's message. Aman. Um, Baruch Tav, Barak Adonai Shem Yahweh, Adonai Kofi, Kohelet, servants of Christ, Mashalom Hey. Hello, everybody. I am Pastor Kofi, Pastor Servants of Christ, where we are always changing lives one mind at a time, but being a voice of the voices and speaking the unspoken. Since I'm already running late, forgive me. We'll just kind of go right into it. I wanted to make sure I was obedient, had some stuff that we had to take care of, and for those that are looking for some packages and things like that, they should be on their way. So just to give you guys a heads up. Also, too, we will be looking at doing our next family fast this up and coming Monday, I believe. Oh, I don't even know what's today's date. I don't even know what today's date is. Okay, I guess it'll be February the 26th, starting February 26th, going all the way through March the 1st. And we'll do our prayer and fasting, where we make our request known unto the Most High on February 26th. So just to give you guys a heads up, we give our honor and praise once again to the Most High. We give our praise and honor name for my wife, the Honorable Maya, who lives a life that's able to be honored. As always, check her out on TikTok, YouTube, or website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish. Not A-N-D, the letter N. Bloom and Flourish. She's a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. How you doing, babe? Love you very much. As always, thank you for being on. Um, uh, well, let's say hello, everybody, real quick. How you doing, babe? Once again, love you. Thank you for being on. How you doing, Sister Joy, Aaron, Minister Stephen, Deborah, DB, Brenda, thanks for being part of the community. Big Brother Thomas, everybody, Carla, Hudat, Sister Monica, Darius, Frank, Dan, Nana or Nana, if you're still on. Emmanuel, how you doing, sir? I appreciate you, everybody who's on. So real quick, just to kind of get this in, how you doing, Miss Q, Brent, and everybody. So real quick, just today I was going to ask the question, sent to ask the question. Nobody saw anything. And I mean that straight up. Think about it. Nobody saw anything. Reason why I say this is because in all the stuff that's going on, right? This has become the year, especially since the whole Club Shay Shay interview, Cat Williams, and all that. I don't know. I think that was this year, right? That interview happened this year, at the end of last year, or whatever. But we have all this stuff that's coming out. How you doing, Brother Alton? How you doing, Coco? How you doing, Helen? And I want you to be careful and all this stuff, because in all these things that are coming up, all these interviews, all this stuff where everybody's terrible and this and that, and now people are coming out. People have been doing this for years, I guess, to where bodyguards or people behind the scenes, or the people that were with R. Kelly, or the people who were Michael Jackson, or the people with this person, that person, etc. All these people, WWE now with Vince McMahon, the list goes on and on. The people you can do, bring out Harvey Weinstein, Puff Daddy, whomever. All these people who were supposedly around to give you the play-by-play, all of a sudden now, all of them want to tell you the things that they either saw or tell you that they never saw anything, but here's the things I can tell you, and they can make money off the interviews. Be careful when all these people are around and nobody saw anything. Just is in my spirit. How you doing, Mr. Tamara? Just in my spirit, something that's kind of bothersome and it's kind of taking a life of its own. That's getting worse and worse and worse. All these people, nobody ever sees anything. How you doing, Springtime? Right? All this stuff going on, nobody was there. And if you did see it, then why didn't you do anything about it? That could be the second part. Yeah, seeing blind, hearing deaf. Yeah, right. How you doing, Sister Mignon? Um, Everybody around, but nobody saw anything. Everybody knows what happened, but nobody saw anything. Everybody was best friends with it, but nobody saw anything. Aaliyah married as a teenager, aging nothing but nothing number. Jay-Z going out with the Dame Dollar, says he was in love with her pretty much the whole time, but didn't realize he was in love, but it was like his little sister. And then he's like, we got to tell the truth about her. All these people around her, right? Missy Elliott all of a sudden sad, and Timberland said he married his wife because she looked like Aaliyah and he had a crush on Aaliyah, but Aaliyah was too young. Everybody's around to see all this stuff, but nobody saw anything. Jay-Z does a whole record with R. Kelly that now nobody will bring up because everybody's going to protect Jay-Z, but nobody saw anything. Just kind of be careful if that's the rhetoric, if that's what the thought process is. Yeah, everybody's swimming in the pool of darkness. Everybody, the lights were off. Everybody saw a candle, but nobody saw the light. Everybody was in the room with the fire. Somebody put it out, but nobody saw anything, and the room was full of 25 people. Right? Um, Everybody's saying something happened with TD Jakes, but nobody around TD Jakes. See, this is something like, let's be honest. Like I've said this before, I'll say it again. I don't really know what TD Jakes has or hasn't done. TD Jakes made himself look bad when he put himself around people that obviously were dishonoring the word. It made it easier. If, even if he didn't do anything, I don't obviously think he didn't do anything, but at the same time, if he didn't do anything to the level they're saying, still nobody saw anything. Because that also speaks volumes. Like, your wife didn't see anything. Um, your ministerial staff didn't see anything. Your people who make your clothing didn't see anything. How you doing, brother Jermaine? Right? Like, just be careful, because it's not just the one person that we got to think about. It's all these people surrounding. Right? There's no way that we could be running SOC the way we run it. And we got all these people. We got ministerial staff. We got secretary. We got assistants. We got people who are making phone calls and contact stuff. We have people who are on all the live sessions. We got people that do meetups. And something go down with Kofi, and nobody saw anything or knew anything. I'm just saying, we ain't there. We ain't gonna be there, right? But I'm just telling you, like, be careful when you see this stuff. How you doing, brother TJ? Be careful when you see all this stuff. Nobody saw a thing, right? Somebody cheats on their wife. And this dude was hanging around his friends all the time, and all his friends, when the wife would call and say, "Where's so and so at?" over the years, and everybody said he was with them, and come to find out, same time, same days, he either wasn't with them. Either you lying for him, or you was there and you was doing stuff on your wife too, right? And if you the wife being cheated on, you should be worried and concerned when you hear about that, because I mean, your husband was around. See, nobody saw anything. It's a weird place. They also play this game, though, with these presidents and these people who set precedent for the United States corporation, and these people who are in the beast, and nobody everybody was around, but nobody saw anything. How you doing, Minister Samela Ray? Sorry, excuse me. How you doing, Shoe Queen? Right. I'm just trying to tell you, right? And they're guilty. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, for certain. I'm with you. I'm with you. Right. I'm just trying to tell you, when you see this stuff, when you hear this stuff happening, be careful, because nobody seeing anything doesn't make any sense. Be careful when you hear all the stuff that's going on. Start thinking about who's around. Everybody got something to say about Trump now, and all the Republicans now, at least they were until it was time to run, and they realized he was going to probably win again, at least win the Republican nomination. Now all of a sudden, everybody's Trump's friend. But remember, everybody was backing off Trump, and everybody had stuff to say. And yeah, I knew he was this and that or whatever, but you didn't see anything when you were with him. If you didn't see anything when you were with him, I'm dang sure not trying to hear you say anything about him now. I mean, you fulfill scripture. You have ears to hear, or you have ears, but you can't hear, eyes, but you cannot see. Right? Be careful of these people. This is wickedness at high levels. Nobody saw anything. Nobody knows anything that was going down. You all remember, what's his face, Derek Jackson, and his wife comes up with all this stuff. His wife is sitting there telling you that she was seeing girls coming in and out the house, and she just, and look, maybe it's true, but she rung it up too. She was depressed and all this stuff, and she wanted to impress him and all these things like that. And he was cheating before they got together, and this and that or whatever. Yeah, not the team, right? Now all of a sudden you separate, and look, you're gonna give all the dirt or whatever, but how much do I believe, and how much did you really care until he divorced you? Because up until the point he divorced you, you were wearing your war bonnet. You remember, she was wearing the war bonnet and everything. And I had to say to myself, as dirty as Derek did her, now you telling me that you saw everything. I mean, were you in on it? Was it something you into? Right. You open yourself up. Um, yeah, man. Don't be so worried. And really, it turns on us if we're not careful. Don't be afraid to be the person that's called a snitch. You mess around, you cheating on your wife, and I find out about it. I've got to make sure that I bare minimum tell your wife, even if I don't tell nobody else. I'm just saying, right? Because I can't be the person that's hanging around you, and then I'm gonna find out, and now here I am looking crazy with my wife because I was trying to make sure that you were all right. You opened up the devil for your house. Yeah, I'm telling you, real talk. Call me whatever you want. Call me a snitch. Call me weak. Call me whatever. No, 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 bro. Like my marriage is gonna be solid. I saw, I saw everything. Right? You with your mans and them, and your man put the gun in your bag. You get caught with the gun. Hey, snitches get stitches and all that. Well, shoot, I'll be stitched up, but you being the one locked up. Right? Doesn't make any sense. All these people hang around, and you're so busy trying to not see anything. Right? I'm just saying. Yeah, birds of a feather flock together. I'm just trying to tell you. Right? And I try to raise Solomon to make sure that, hey, you don't need to necessarily just be exposing people and this and that or whatever and trying to get yourself off. But real talk, if it's you or them, bro, it's them. Especially if you ain't in it. But you opening up doors. And now after this stuff happens, everybody, and then those who saw stuff, how you doing, Brother Allen? Right? And how you doing, Warren? And then all everybody who now has seen the stuff. Now my next question is, well, then why didn't you see it when you was with him? Why you only see it when you're no longer the bodyguard? Is because you can't be a bodyguard for anybody else, and you can't make the same money, or you wasted the money you made when you were getting paid to keep secrets. And I believe there's some things that should be in-house for sure. Even as we grow as a nation, as we do different things, there's some people that know stuff that other people shouldn't know. There's some people that know locations of things. There's some people that know where my family may or may not be at that might be trusted more just because of certain things we're doing. There's certain things that we do to make sure that you guys don't know what's going on with certain people because it's not necessarily everybody's business what's going on with you. I get that level of stuff. But to be like, hey, you were in on straight wickedness and evil, and you saw people doing stuff, and nobody saw anything. It's gonna be really interesting. How you doing, Sister Nadine? It's gonna be really interesting when we really start finding out some stuff about these people for real. You know, this stuff, darkness comes to light. Books will be written. It might be 30 years from now, and people's whole thing gets crushed. Somebody passes away now, so we find out all the dirty details and everything. And a legacy you thought you were leaving is no longer a legacy at all. Right. I always think to myself, right? Martha Washington, I guess you could say she a G because of what she was doing to try and protect her husband and George Washington and all that, and really herself, her money. But real talk, like Martha, you burned stuff to where we still don't know some of the truth about what your husband was really doing to people and the stuff he was really in on this Masonic stuff or whatever. It actually makes him look worse, right? Oh, no problem, brother Jermaine. Right? It makes him look worse. How you doing, Z man? Be careful, man. All these people around, all this stuff, and nobody sees anything. This the stuff, and really, it even gets worse because if we could take it to the next level, everybody's supporting all these people, and we see wickedness, but we act like we don't see it. Everybody. Okay. Obama's running for president, first time. He tells you he's not going to do anything for you, whether you're black, because he's not the white president, not the black president, he's the president. He says he's not going to do anything for you if you're Mexican trying to come across the border, if you're an immigrant, because he says he'll worry about that when he's on his way out, and he's hoping that he'll get two presidencies. And then the last year of his presidency, he mentions things that doesn't really do anything. Meanwhile, nobody talks about the fact that Obama was offing more people at the border, literally offering more people at the border than Trump had locked up. And everybody sees it, but everybody wants to go ahead because you're a left or rightist or whatever. You want to act like you don't see the stuff. People saw for sure. We know what alt right is, and alt right is all up in Trump's cabinet, and yet everybody was going to act like they didn't see it. And I'm not even talking about just white or black, right or left. I have people who are family members who are busy telling people that, hey, you need Trump because he's from outside Washington, this, that, or whatever. And it's like Trump was trying to lock y'all up. He was supposedly on the left. Remember, he went on the Oprah Winfrey show and he said if he ran for president, he would run Republican because Republicans don't know what they're talking about and they're stupid and they're easy. And then meanwhile, while he was doing that, he also went in the Central Park Five, you know, the story about the Central Park Five and how he basically wrote a thing in the paper and said that they deserved death and then found out that they were completely innocent and that the cops dropped the ball and it was basically, hey, they fit a description, so to speak. Right. But while that was happening, nobody saw anything. And now that we've gotten a couple decades removed, now nobody saw anything again. How you doing, Sister Judith? I'm just saying, be careful with all this stuff. Nobody saw anything through this whole stuff. Who are the people that saw the stuff? Look, um, I don't believe Bill Cosby, for example. I don't believe this is all alleged, right? But I don't know if Bill Cosby did. I don't really believe he did. I believe Bill Cosby was sleeping around with a lot of people. Not, and a little thing that's not talked about is that people, when they were having sex, 70s, 80s, and even into the 90s, in certain Hollywood circles and certain clubs and stuff, people used to take Quaaludes all the time. That's a little unkept. That's a little secret, but not so secret that people know. Like if you were in those circles, you took date rape stuff. Excuse me, I'm not. Excuse me, actually, forgive me. I'm not supposed to say that. But you took stuff like that to get in your mood or to get to whatever. Right. That being said, right, Bill was being unfaithful nonetheless. You don't think his wife knew about it? You don't think there's a reason why his wife was like, "Well, I'm gonna stick with him no matter what to the end." It was already it was basically contracted out. Like, look, you know what time it is, you know what I'm on. You know what I represent. I'm gonna do what I do. His wife ain't go nowhere. You think Kobe Bryant's wife didn't know stuff was going on? All they had to do was put a ring on her finger, put it in front of everybody. She played a role. Just contracted out. Matter of fact, a lot of people don't think about Bill Clinton, stuff like that. Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton didn't just randomly meet. They were grooming Bill Clinton since he was a little child. They saw that he had the ability to make sure that he put money in their pocket. They said, "We're going to make you president. We're going to lift you up." And by the way, we should do some of this too, not be dirty and underhanded. But if we see young folk and see them doing certain things, we should sow into them. We should speak into their life. We should lift them up. And then once we finish lifting them up, we should go ahead and make sure that, we say, "Hey, when you get to this position, you're going to help your community. You're going to serve us." We should train them to do so. Right. But Bill Clinton, when he did all this stuff that was leading up and he was doing stuff in Haiti and he was doing stuff in conjunction with the Red Cross and him and Hillary were doing some wild stuff and all these things like that or whatever. Well, I'm not saying necessarily do it for the government. I'm just saying in general, we should make sure that we lift up people. We should build a business. We should build a communities, all that. Right. We don't have to do it through the government. I'm just saying we should have at least a mind to do that. We don't lift up our youth and anything, give them the ability to do stuff. We don't give them credit for stuff. We don't try to give them things to do like that at all. So kind of messes with us, right? But that being said, all these things that are going on, all these things that are happening, right? All these things that we should be mindful of or whatever. And I'm just saying nobody saw anything and then we act like we didn't see anything. How many people conveniently forgot that Make America Great Again is the second slogan when Ronald Reagan ran on Make America Great Again? Did we not see that? Right, depending on your age, you might not have seen it or might not have recognized it, right? But Ronald Reagan ran in 1979 on Make America Great Again, 1980 Make America Great Again, 1981 he won on Make America Great Again. We needed to make it great again in 2000 and what was that? 2015, 2016, right? When you pretend that you haven't seen anything, you got to live in cognitive dissonance. How you doing, Mom 813? Thanks for being part of the community. When you live in this stuff, you got to be in cognitive dissonance. You had a black president who was in office and said that and didn't do anything for reparations. Then his vice president comes in who serves the same masters. You thought he was going to do something about reparations that he promised you? All he had to do was drop the girl. Remember, the person who was going to run with him for vice president. How quickly we forget. We don't see anything, but how quickly we forget while we got our eyes closed. That wasn't it. The thing that popped up with George Floyd, the person that was going to run for president. You remember this? Well, we had our eyes closed. The one who was going to run for vice president with Joe Biden, she had to drop out and then said, "Hey, let's go ahead and get a black woman that was to go ahead and be that. I think that would be great." Why did she have to drop out? Because the person who off George Floyd, right, with those helpers and everything, he was somebody that had like 13 different things that have been brought up to the not the inspector general. No, I'm trying to say inspector general, whatever her title was, right? And the prosecutor, whatever prosecutor, state prosecutor, whatever, and she was the governor at the time. Come to find out, she didn't do this. She didn't deal with him, and since she didn't deal with him, George Floyd, just like others, lost their lives. And so now she had to go ahead and run and bow out. That's who Joe Biden was running with. Same Joe Biden, by the way. We close our eyes again. Who was Joe Biden's mentor? Hmm. Probably Attorney General. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. Right? Who was Joe Biden's mentor? Who was his mentor? Anybody remember? Well, when you find out, when you look it up, you do some research on him, you'll find out that he's one of the most staunch racists. He was one of the biggest Dixiecrats there ever was. Remember, Dixiecrats, who eventually many of them became um, Republicans. The Dixiecrats were people that you were told about with from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and from people like Malcolm X. Be careful about him. And Joe Biden now, here he is, the same Joe Biden in the 90s, agreed with the super predator stuff, the same Joe Biden in the 90s who made the point to say we should get rid of anything that helps anybody out. We should get rid of all the programs, especially the ones that help your community. Same Joe Biden that did that stuff. Now you thought he was going to give you reparations after he was part of a team that uplifted a black person who wouldn't be black and said that he wasn't going to do anything for y'all, wasn't going to do anything for immigration, did more for LGBTQ plus in your community and all that stuff. And now he's supposed to be the man. Hey, how you doing, Sister Tanya? Right now, the same dude's supposed to be the man. Did we not see, or do we just choose not to see? Did we close our eyes and just act like that didn't happen? Be careful, man. When people are like they didn't see anything, you were there, you didn't see anything. This speaks poorly on us. We were there. We were there, and we don't remember any of this. Are we complete sheeple, or did we just pay attention? Did we just turn our or put our blinders on, or do they put the blinders on you while you chase the carrot? Right, and then they make money off our ignorance. They fill us with Psalm 123. They fill you with contempt. Psalm 122, you should come together as a compact nation. Instead, Psalm 123, they fill you with contempt, and while filling you with contempt, they also make it to where they're at ease with your scorning. When you're scorned, you're somebody who's considered to be nothing, bottom of the barrel. How long will we act like we didn't see it? And thank y'all for the love. Appreciate it. How long we gonna act like we didn't see it? And we can't wait to tell you why we didn't see it. And I get it, because even though we've learned to smile through it and stuff, and we've actually turned pain into something that can be considered to be pleasurable, it still hurts. And it hurts to see that maybe we did something. Here's something else I talk about all the time. Here's a big, big example. This is not something any of us can say we were part of. Here's a big, big example. This is from the 1800s, from the 19th century. You ready? Um, we as men decided that it was more important for us to vote like other men and not say, you know what, we'll sit this out until our sisters can vote. Like, we dropped the ball. And we made it a point then. That's one of the first times, right, that we had a decision to make to where we could have stayed connected and not doing black versus white, even though, or black man versus black woman. And we could have been together as a diaspora, and instead it was more important that one be above the other and that we live like somebody else in their culture. And how quickly, when we have the alphas talking about all this stuff, we forget that we dropped the ball on that. Right. And we can't do this thing. Well, no, you got to see what was there and what was going on at the time. And nobody really did that or whatever. That's not even our culture, man. They didn't even accept us. We were doing 40 eggs in the mule. We were freedmen. We were all right by ourselves, man. One of the biggest things we put on our blinders again. Doesn't take that much longer to where segregation is running rampant. Like it's been increased. Jim Crow has put an increase to it, all this stuff. Next thing you know, all of a sudden, white man's ice tastes but cooler. We can't wait to go ahead and be integrating this stuff, but you making money on your own, right? Negro leagues, you were making more money than the major leagues. Why you want to play with them? Not because I'm not saying you should never play with a white person. I'm saying you have your own business. It's doing better. The major leagues are losing money. They all of a sudden say we're losing money. Let's go ahead and allow them to make money, since some of our fans are going over to them. And you went, and now all of a sudden what happened to the Negro leagues? Now I know part of it is because we had banishment that didn't make sure that he had things in place that were just past him. He had too much on his plate, and then once he passed away, so did the dream. I get it. There's that part to it too. I'm not totally ignorant, but at the same time, everybody was ready to run to something else. And you mean nobody was around? Nobody saw anything? Nobody was around to say, even when this guy, everything passed away, we'll keep the Negro Leagues going? Or the same Negro League players could just say, let's start something else? Or when you have segregation And all of a sudden it's ending this and that or whatever. Why did we say we'll stop using our own buses and trains and cars? Did we forget that we had our own taxi companies and we had our own train companies and the way trains work and stuff? A lot of patents are made by the one of us who ended up having not only trains, but was the reason why you could even use the railroad, some of the stuff that's still used to this day. We're so busy not seeing anything, or maybe we just don't see it. Maybe that's why we need Yahweh's vision and not our own. Right? I say this and then I'll take my leave for the night. Be careful when everybody's around and nobody saw anything. You know that's not right when you come home and your children do that. You know it's not right when you did it to your parents because you knew that you deserved if you was gonna get that whooping, but everybody's gonna keep their mouth closed. Nobody saw anything. You know you deserved it because one of y'all did it. But you were so worried about not being snitches and stuff rather than saying, hey, there's a consequence to our actions. And if somebody does something wrong, even if we step in, even if we say, you know what, like it would be more honorable. Can I be honest with you? In that situation, we didn't think like this because we were children. But it would have actually been more honorable if we said, hey, you know what, so-and-so did it, but we're all going to take the punishment together. That'd be more honorable than just nobody saw anything. One is a lie and one is we're going to stand united. You see the difference? And they want us to sit up there and act like nobody saw anything. They want you to live a lie. Always, though, remember a half lie is what? Remember, a half lie is always a what? A half truth, excuse me. A half truth is always what? A half truth is always a whole lie. A half lie is always a whole lie, and a half truth is always a whole lie. That's the way it works. That's the maths. So be careful out here. How you doing, Sister Keita? Be careful out here when everybody is around, but nobody sees anything. Oh, Holy Spirit. Okay, I'm trying to end. I promise you. She just flipped this thing real quick. Be careful as well. Right? Glad you found this too. Right. Thank you for being on. Be careful about this too. When everybody's ready to give you a half truth, even about yourself. Right? And these whole lies about yourself. Be careful when you're around people and nobody can see the greatness in you. Now you made it, and now everybody sees that you great. Right? Those who hated me, and then when I made it, you still hated me. I mean, you consistent. Right? I'll give you more credit. You are very consistent. But the inconsistent, the ones that we were talking about, we're going to do this, and we're going to move this, and we're going to move mountains, and this and that, or whatever. And now that we're making it, all of a sudden, you saw it the whole time. You can still come back around, but I got to look at you sideways now. You can come back around, but you can't be in the inner circle anymore. You can come back around, but you can't do anything foundational. See, because we depended on you to be a foundation, and you had too many you put too many cracks in it. And the house was leaning. Now that you're gone and the house is standing straight, you realize that there's something to gain. But if you didn't see that there was something to gain, if you didn't see the power that Yahweh placed in me, I'm not just talking about Kofi. I'm talking about put yourself in this position, right? If you didn't see who the power that was there, if you didn't see the stuff like my wife, the Honorable Amma, she told me when many of you would have considered me to be nothing, she said, I see greatness in you. She said that I don't want to miss this opportunity to be with you. She said that you're going to be a blessing to me. She said, I'm going to be a blessing to you and help to multiply what it is that you're doing. See, that's somebody that no matter what you want to say about, no matter what happens, we going to be together because she saw it when y'all, I'm not saying y'all, and let me say it so I'm not coming at you. She saw it when others couldn't see it. So I will always put her above others. She spoke into it. She loved it, right? She gave a child to somebody who others would think wasn't worth giving a penny to. She became a living sacrifice so that I would be a father and that there would be a young life to be able to follow in his father's footsteps. She saw it when nobody else did. Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you hear me? Right? Do not allow these people out here who cannot see the greatness in you and only see it now that it's cooking. Right? They didn't see it when The stuff cupboard was bare. They didn't see it when there wasn't any money in the house. They didn't see it when there were no groceries. They didn't see it when we went to the store. They didn't see it when we got in the car. They didn't see it when we had to work hard on the bus and take 7 buses to be able to get all the ingredients. But now the ingredients there, they showing up knocking on the door talking about they can smell the food down the street. No, it's not for you. Now the whole apartment complex wants to come in, and 75% of y'all don't even know my name. But now you smell the food and you found out that some in the apartment are getting it, and now you think this is free for everybody. Be careful when people are flagrantly treat your anointing like it's trivial. But now that there's answers to the trivia, they want to act like they played the game. Be careful. I'm just saying, be careful. How you doing, Shogun? Be careful. With people who wouldn't speak into your life, when people who wouldn't have talked, people talk trash about you, and now all of a sudden I made it. You couldn't see it then. How do you see it now? And look, if that's the case, cool, right? But here's another level. You want to be doubting Thomas now? That's fine, right? I get it. I showed up. You've seen the holes in the hand. You've seen the piercing in the side. You now call me by my correct name and title. I've got it now. Cool. You know who I am. Here's the next step to that. Here's the next step. Blessed are those who see it and believe it, and blessed, but the real blessing is for those who have not seen it and have the faith in it. And they worked in faith before they saw the manifestation. Many will not, and I'm not mad at it because this is where people are. That some people have to see it enough to then start developing faith, right? But there are many who will only work once they see manifestation, and then they'll start developing faith through the manifestation. There are some that will have faith and work in faith and provide manifestation. Be careful when everybody's around but nobody can see. I say this all the time when people do the whole I don't see color thing, and I'm not here to even talk about racism that much, right? However, let's be honest. When a lot of people come, I get it, yep, and seeing is believing. And but I'm not even coming to Brother Allen. Actually, you just trip something in the spirit for me. Seeing is believing. Manifestation. If you notice, I said manifestation in both, right? But there's some things you're gonna have to have faith in and work, and might have to work for years. But when you see the manifestation, it's gonna bless you beyond years, and it's gonna bless you for generations to come. And when others who couldn't see what you saw, and not just that, if they don't see it, that's one thing, but wouldn't even work it. And watch this, not even just work it, because maybe you need to see it first, but wouldn't even treat you. They treated you like you were crazy because you walked in faith. You worked in faith. Your faith and works were connected. And now they're seeing the manifestation. They don't get to go back and just reverse it and be like, hey, I was in all the time. I really had your back. Right? If you love me, you'll keep my commandments. You keep the commandments even if you haven't seen the manifestation yet. If you love me, if you love me, and I say this is the vision or whatever, you can't see that the vision causes division. Matter of fact, you see the vision is a great thing, but we have to put some work in. Don't be like, well, I just don't want to put the work in. I saw some crazy video today, and there was a woman who was a girlfriend of some guy. The guy takes care of his mother, right? He makes enough money to take care of his mother and takes care of the girlfriend. His mother lived there first. He moved the girlfriend in with his mother. And I know there's sisters. You go ahead and you might feel a certain way about what I'm about to say. I get it. Look, I'm not a woman and I might need to be schooled. So, maybe I'll have a different thought process in this once I learn something from you guys at a later date. We're going to take our leave in a second. But I watched the video and there's a guy and he's taking care of his mother and his girlfriend or whatever. And the girlfriend is basically he comes back. He's like, hey, did you tell my mom she got to move out? And the girlfriend just smiles. And like, what you smiling about? And so they start getting into it. And the girlfriend is sitting up here. Well, now I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't know how it ends. I don't know how it ends. I'll say it again. I have no clue how this ends. So I have not watched the whole thing. I don't know if he kicks her out. I don't know, whatever. But her whole thing was, well, you know what? She don't pay no bills here. She can go ahead and go. I'm tired of her, this and that, whatever. And he says, Well, how many bills do you pay? He says, who did your hair? Who did your nails? She's like, well, I don't have to do anything. I'm supposed to be sitting here I'm looking good. And you had me, and that's all that. And so I deserve that. But she ain't got no, why can't she go get no man, this, that, or whatever? And this man is honoring his mother. And he says, hey, my mother took care of me when I was growing up. She's the reason I'm here. She sewed into me. She did this, she did that. Of course I would take care of my mother. And she's going through this long thing, right? Now, I don't know what the end of it is. He was recording it, so I'm assuming he was getting ready to kick her out. I have to assume it because I didn't watch it to the end, right? But he honored his parents. His mother needs him in this moment in time. Why would he not take care? Matter of fact, it's a very Israelite, that's a very Hebrew, that's a Hebraic, that's a very African, that's a very native, that's a very biblical thing to do. Why would he not do so? Right? Honor your father and mother. That's the first commandment that leads to a long life. He's doing exactly what he's commanded to do. And yet, they were sitting there going through all this, and it's going back and forth, and she's saying all these things, and I'm just sitting there. And he even asked the question. He said, where is your mother? So apparently she doesn't get along with her mother, right? I don't know. And like I said, I didn't watch the whole thing. Maybe that detail comes up. Maybe some of you seen it or whatever. You said the husband left his mom. Well, if that's the case, that's pretty sad that he would do so, or that somebody would put somebody in the position to do that, right? But but he's taking care of his mother. Yes, that's what he's doing, right? Wife comes first, sure. So I don't know if she's his wife, first of all. you know, so let's just be honest, right? Because that's not a wifely thing to do. But wife comes first, sure. Wife kicking the mother out just for no reason, sure. At the end of the day, I guess you got to put your wife before your. But I would ask you, is that a wife? You know, maybe that was his wife. It seemed like he kept saying you're my girlfriend, but maybe he just meant you're my girl. Like I said, I didn't watch the whole thing. I would say this though, and all that stuff or whatever. If you get with somebody, this is why we even say in the beginning, right? You didn't. You had to have seen this coming, regardless of what he did. Regardless of what he did, did you didn't see that? No, not about a television show, right? You didn't see that. See what I'm saying? We'll get with people and we don't even see. We don't even see what's going on, or we'll act like we didn't see. To any woman or man that attempts to turn you against your mother, and yeah, and look, and AK, we're talking about what we're talking about. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna. I'm actually getting ready to close, so I'm sorry I can't rewind everything back. Thank you for being on. I appreciate it. Um, but I'm right, and so at the end of the day, and all this stuff going on, I'm just saying we got to even when we're even going out with the people we're going out with. For those of you who do dating and stuff, right, or even if you're courting or whatever you want to call it, you're telling me you don't see any signs of that at all, right? I'm just saying, right? Because at the end of the day, look, my mother has passed away. I have a very loving mother-in-law. My mother has passed away, right? And just on principle, I would be less of a man. I don't know if I would even call myself a man if my mother. See, watch, especially because now I don't know what his situation is. Let me say it to you like this: my mother passed away because of multiple sclerosis. I was wheeling her around since I was like 8 or 9 years old, up and down stairs, having to pull her up 9 years old, up and down stairs, right? Find a way to get her to and from this and that or whatever. Father still has her ashes, has never gone on a date since she passed away over 20 years ago, right? I wish, now my wife would never do this, right? However, I wish if my mother was alive, I wish somebody would tell me that I wouldn't make sure that she's taken care of. Matter of fact, if I knew what I knew now, she would have never went to deal with doctors. She would have been at home and she would have been taken care of, right? That's part of the reason why she passed. We took care of her. She had problems with her memory. We didn't know what to do back then. Right now we know what to do, but we didn't know what to do back then. And so the decision was made, since she was literally scared of us. It was even though she could barely move her legs, she was trying to crawl out of the apartment at the time. The decision was made, all right, we got to go ahead and get you help that you need. Ended up, long story short, not being the help that she needed, right? But I'm just saying, for me, right, these are the things that we have to have to look at those things, right? Just that within itself. So, like I said, I don't know the story. If I'm 100% wrong on the story, and if there's a part 2 and part 3, like people be putting out there, and maybe his mom was doing so, I'm just telling you in general. If the whole thing is right, I don't have to do anything in the house. I don't have to do any housework. I don't have to do any of this stuff. And your mom should just go find a man. That's not even. By the way, that's not even an Israelite thing, right? Or I'm sorry, that is an Israelite thing. Excuse me. Like if something happens to the father, then the firstborn son is supposed to be the one to take care of mama. That's just the way it works. We are so used to not having and not preparing ourselves and not making sure that there's generational wealth. But first responsibility, if something happened to mama, right? Yeah, something happened to mama, and I'm saying now mama that's mother-in-law for me. If something happened to mama and she need to be somewhere, she need to take a break, she needs somebody to be, oh yeah, you coming here. Ain't no choice. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be that son like I was with my own mama. You're gonna be mad at me, mama, because you don't get to do this and that. I'm gonna treat you just like I treated my mom when I was young. I had to take care of you, mama. I gotta carry, okay, you're gonna have to listen. Right? But you're gonna be taken care of. You're gonna eat well, you're gonna be dressed well, you're gonna be loved, you're gonna be taken care of, you're gonna get stuff that you need. That's the way that works. That's how it works in our culture, in our community. We're so used to putting people in nursing homes and stuff, unfortunately. And honestly, that's what ended up happening in the end with my mother. And we didn't know any better. We literally, she was better. My father used to get upset because we would go visit my mother, and she had never had at our house, at our apartment, with myself and my little sister. She's 2 years younger than me. So ages like 8 and 6, all the way through ages like 14, maybe 13, but like 14, 13, and 11 to 12. She never had a bed sore. She wasn't missing no meals. Her medicine was taken care of. We were administering shots. We weren't supposed to, right? But we were doing all this stuff, right? She didn't miss no showers. If she needed to be changed, she was changed. My sister would take care of the stuff. I had to carry her to where my sister could do the stuff as far as hygiene stuff. And oh, thanks, boo. I had to carry her to wherever the hygienic stuff had to go. My sister took care of all the hygienic stuff, right? To make sure that she was respected and she didn't feel some kind of way with her son having to look at her, all this stuff. But all these things were done, right? And it was when we transferred her to the hospital, and then they got my father to be on board with the whole try to do a transitional thing, and maybe she'll get better while she's in nursing home thing. She lost more of her memory. She stopped moving. She stopped recognizing us, and got to a point to where she had bed sores. Never had a bed sore in her life, with 2 little children watching her. Now we did, truth be told, we had a nurse that would take care of her while we were at school, right? So she was taken care of by the nurse. And then the nurse would actually, even though she wasn't supposed to do this, would be like, hey, this is what you do for her. This is how you do this. This is how you administer this, blah, blah. And she was taken care of. All of a sudden, we put her in somebody else's hands and she wasn't taken care of. And my father, I didn't comprehend it fully because I didn't realize, I was just thinking she was sick, how you get bed sore and blah, blah. My father, was sitting there upset. I'm not realizing that bed sores is obviously an indication people ain't taking care of the patient. You don't just get bed sores randomly, right? So, and all that, we would go there and everybody act like they don't see nothing. My father just about, I think he did. I don't know if he did or not, but I know he just about put his hands on a couple people when he sees his wife like that, right? But nobody saw anything. So I'm just saying, be careful with this stuff where we don't see anything, or we allow ourselves to be blind to stuff, or we've been seeing stuff, or we see it, but now we haven't seen it, or we try to block it out of our mind. No, no, no. See, you've been given vision to see. You've been given new eyes. You're a new creature. Don't let them pull the wool over your eyes. Don't pull the wool over your own eyes. Yeah, exactly. And the bed sores is because, and we did it. I knew that at home. I followed the nurse's instruction. She would say, hey, make sure that she's flipped over, make sure that she's on her side, make sure on this. I would listen to my mom. Hey, I'm getting sore on this side. Okay, cool. Flip you over. Before we even got a chance to even get to the bed sore thing, she wasn't in the position all day. Hey, I need to do my exercises. No problem. Take her hand, ball it up, open it up. And then you think about it later on, you're a little child, and then you gave them to adults, and that's what they do, and that's what they did. But ain't nobody gonna love your mama like you're gonna love your mama, right? So, anyways, just be careful with all this. We don't see nothing stuff. Just be careful with this. How you doing, Sister Betty? Just be careful when people are around, but nobody sees anything. Nobody saw nothing. You mean nobody saw nothing? Yeah, it's straight neglect. And really, that's what happens when we don't when we allow. See, watch this. A lot of these babies, they wilding out, and grandmamas and granddaddies and mamas and daddies and aunties and uncles and everybody and cousins and big cousins and big brothers and sisters and all that. We sitting up there watching this stuff and watching these children act the fool. You don't get to be the same person that comes back later on and says, "I ain't see nothing." There's a scripture that says, "Spare the rod. He who spared the rod spoiled the child." There's also another scripture that says, "He who spoiled the rod hated the child." Hate is not talking about you angry, this and that. Hate means you ignore. Hate doesn't mean you was punching them. Hate doesn't mean you was cussing them out. Hate means you ignored it. And sure enough, if you're not careful, what's going to happen with that baby that you going ahead and say, well, they're this and they're young and they get, no, that baby, that's for me in my house. Are they in your house? Are they in your house? Forgive me. I'm gonna just talk on behalf of Daddy. I know mamas, y'all go through your stuff too. We talk a lot about the men here, so allow me to just say this something to you. Hey, my mom. Well, you know what? I don't want him to deal with our son like that. I don't want him, mama, especially if he's in the house, mama. You better let him go ahead. You rather him put his hands on him now. Now, if he's abusive, obviously there's levels to it, right? But you rather him put his hands on him. Mama, I'm telling you, he's telling you things about that because he don't want to be soft in that area. Also, too, he might be telling you things in another area because he does want him to be softer in those areas because he knows as a man he needs to be softer in certain areas than what he was raised to be, and he knows as a man he needs to be harder in certain areas than what he was raised to be. I'm just trying to help you. It's always interesting. Everybody want a strong leader until it's time to follow. Or how often you want me to be a strong leader all the time, but you don't have to be a strong now, not follower per se, right? We know that there's submission, and a mind without admission is a dangerous mind. So you need the mind to have a mission, right? He got to have a mission. It's got to be a mission of the Most High. But if his mission of the Most High is something to make sure that he's sowing into the child, you might want to. It's always interesting. Everybody want to follow. Everybody want a man that follows. That's a man that's worth following 100% of the time, and then starts to break down why he's not worth following 100% of the time. I get it. He's not perfect. So maybe 100% seems strong. But if he's in the law, if he's in the word, and if he's doing things righteously, this is why we're supposed to vet these brothers before they come in. We wait till it's after the fact. Then people want to, hey, can you help me with my relationship 50 years down the road? Well, maybe we should have started, 5 months before. Right. But hey, if you want me to be what it is, you got to at least give me the leeway. Now, if I've shown that you can't trust me in it, that's something we can talk about too. But anyways, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being on. Um, Once again, I apologize for my tardiness. Had some stuff that we had to take care of, and hopefully this blesses you. You can see I'm a little tired. Hopefully I got the word across though. Hopefully you've been seeing the stuff. We've been trying to be more diligent about posting stuff in different platforms. So we'll continue to do that, and hopefully you've been getting something out of it. Thank you all again. We appreciate you. I did try to reach out to some ministerial staff. Hopefully, we're getting a chance to reach out to others. And hopefully, you guys have been reaching out to people. I've been trying my best to, especially in certain areas. I'm starting first to areas that I know we need help ministerial staff wise. So if you're in certain areas of the country, I'm trying to start reaching out to you guys more again and making sure that we're getting you guys together, and that we might have you attach yourself to another minister, but somebody should be saying hello to you. And thank you guys who've been filling out the information for us. Don't forget, um, on Thursday Rising Prayer, 7 a.m. Eastern New York time. On Saturday, we have, the Shabbat service and then Shabbat school for the babies. We will be having a SOC community meeting this Saturday. I tried to put it out on a Google Calendar invite, so I tried to add as many names as I could that I saw off the spreadsheet. So you guys should be on there. You should be on there for the women's meetings now, for the men's meetings now, for early rise of Bible study session Wednesdays when we have people on all this stuff. You should be on all those things. So hopefully we'll have you guys on there, and you guys will be blessed by the stuff that's coming up. This Monday coming up, once again, what is that? February the 26th, I believe. No. Yeah, I believe so. February the 26th, whatever Monday is close, whatever next Monday is, the up and coming Monday, but I believe February the 26th, we'll be starting intermittent fasting. That'll be the next family fast. So if you want to start preparing yourselves, preparing your bodies, and getting ready for that, we're going to do that Monday through Friday again. And then this Friday, then not this Friday, I guess, but March the 1st, we'll do our prayer and fasting thing that we do in the evenings. So we thank you guys and we appreciate you. And we look forward to talking to you guys soon. Thank you for everybody. We've had a lot of stuff today and we appreciate you. So hopefully everybody's getting what they need. And yeah, just continue to do great things. And once again, be careful when everybody's around, but nobody sees anything. Be careful with that. All right, fam. Love y'all. Appreciate you. We give our honor and praise to the Most High. We give our praise and honor to Him for my wife, the Honorable Amma, who lives a life that's able to be honored. As always, check her out on TikTok, YouTube, her website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish. Not A-N-D, the letter N. Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. Also, again, please, ma'am, please, sir, if you're going to help Minister Tamara and her family, please try to do so through the actual GoFundMe page. We're not really paying attention to it in the SOC stuff that's coming in, and so I caught the couple things that y'all did send. So I will make sure. I got to switch some stuff up real quick and make sure, but we will send it to her. But from this point on, if you can, please, ma'am, please, sir, since we're not looking to receive it, it might get skipped over. So the best way to make sure you get it to the family is, please, if you can, send it to her, send it to the GoFundMe page. If you don't have information, get in contact with us or get in contact with her, and we'll make sure that we get you the appropriate information. Okay. So please, ma'am, please, sir, if you can kind of keep that in mind, because I just so happened, praise Yah, because it would have been a really bad look if there was stuff that you guys sent and we ended up using it for something else. So, and there might have even been some that you guys sent, but you didn't put anything in the description. So, thank you guys for who did put in the description that it was for her and her family. So we will make sure it gets to them. But I'm going to give a reminder again, please, ma'am, please, sir. We're going to be at least doing this, I think, through the rest of the week. So if you can, please, ma'am, please, sir, make it a point to send it to the GoFundMe page or 2 Minutes to Tamara. If you need the information, just contact us and we'll make sure that we give you the information that's necessary. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. I see you, Mad Bear. We actually added you to the list. Might not have reached out to you yet, but I know we actually added you to some of the Google Calendar invite stuff finally. So I did that today. So you should be at least on some. I know for the men's one for sure, the men's one, and for the probably for the SOC community meeting on Saturday, you should at least be added to that stuff, if not everything. But somebody should be reaching out to you soon. Probably be me. And right now, even though Minister Samaya Larea, Minister Jenny, and possibly Sister Irena will probably reach out to you at some point soon as well. Amen. But thank y'all. Appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and take my leave, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. And remember, on Thursday will be our next Q&A session. So if you want to have your questions ready, I've already been kind of taking screenshots of some questions, even some stuff that people put in the DMs. If you want to put some stuff out there to Facebook, if you want to text us some questions, hopefully we'll have a better setup. We should have a better setup this time. So hopefully we'll be able to take phone calls in on this time too. But we'll be prepared on Thursday to just go in a little bit, and we'll go a little late than usual. We won't go Sunday late, but we'll go a little later than usual on Thursdays. All right. But thank you all. Appreciate you. Also, too, if you have teenagers, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, children, etc., or if you are a teenager, possibly, this isn't necessarily for children, but if you are a teenager and you would like to be part of something, we're starting to get more interest, and we're starting to have people who are ready. We're starting to get more people in tune with having something specifically for our teenagers. So, Sister Akita, if you're still on, please let Sister Karen know. Matter of fact, Sister Karen's available because we'd like her to have a big part to play in it, and I know she's interested in it. Have her reach out to Elder Maya whenever her schedule allows, um, and we can start putting some stuff together. We want to do something for the teens. The teens still, we would like for them to come to the Shabbat school, right? But we will try to give them something a little extra just for them, so they can go ahead and have something on their level. They can ask some more intense questions. And by the way, depending on the age of the teen and what you feel like these teenagers are, as far as where their maturity level is, feel free to invite them to the men's meetings, women's meetings, all that stuff. They can come. All right. You know, you're the parent, you know, their maturity level. But some of this stuff, I mean, they already learning about it anyways, might as well. So just feel free to have them come on in for Shabbat school. Once again, like we said, so if there's certain, even have the teenagers reach out, you know, let them tell us, have them call myself, have them call Elder Maya or Elder Ahmed, you know, and talk to them. Hey, you know, what is it that you know, this is what we like to hear. This is what we're going through. We can tailor it to what they're going through. So they don't have no choice. They can't say, oh, this is just something that's boring, blah, blah, this and that, or whatever. We want to serve them on their level where they're at. All right. So feel free to have them connect with us, contact us. You know, we love to be able to talk and move together and do something that's just for them. All right. So they have every opportunity. You know, they can call, they can ask questions, they can challenge, they can do the same stuff that that you know that we doing too. So I'm just saying they have every right. They can, you know, we can have Q&A sessions, and we can use the first couple ones where they can come at Elder Almond, myself, possibly. I don't know. She's probably gonna be the one leading, so let me not speak for her. But I'm just saying I wouldn't mind if they want to go ahead and contact and connect with us and say all this stuff, and they want to come on there and they want to say this and that and challenge it, and oh well, you this and that, and I don't believe. Okay, fine. Like asking. Teenagers think they know everything anyway. It's like, hey, it ain't nothing I ain't seen before. I used to be one. I get the mindset, right? So thank y'all though. Appreciate you. Don't forget WhatsApp groups, Facebook group, all the stuff we got going on. Brothers, you know, text train, always strong. Sisters doing their thing. You know, all the stuff that's out there. Don't forget about Bloom and Flourish WhatsApp group too. If you don't know about it, or if you want to get more information, let us know. We'll try to give you that information too. All right, but I'm finished. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you for being in tune with the Holy Spirit. We hope that you have a great night. As always, it's been Pastor Kofi, Pastor Servant of Christ, where we are always changing lives one mind at a time by being a voice of the voiceless and speaking the unspoken. And until I have the great privilege, opportunity, and responsibility of being in front of you all again, please remember, as always, that you are loved, you are necessary, you're majestic, you're fearfully and wonderfully made, and you, which is all of us working together, will be the reason why people who are in this system no longer have to be of it. Shalom, family. And until tomorrow, you know, sweet dreams and all that great stuff. Peace.